I got a mine board too on West Market. There's all these dealers. So what does it look like?
Three's fine. It's 4 and 6.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order. For the record, all members are present, with the exception of Ms. Amobi. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
We have a motion to second. All in favor? Aye. Very good. We have several items here coming before us. Item number 1, this is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to pay $15,000 for an operating subsidy to Cascade Locks Park Association in order to support the maintenance of the Cascade Locks and Muscle Store Museum as a welcoming recreational and culturally educational urban green space, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Fricker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the annual support that we give to Cascade Locks Park Association for the Muscle Store. Once again, it is $15,000. That's the same amount that we've been giving for the past several years. We do have Don Gordon here from the Muscle Store to give us an update.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Hi, everyone. I would like to pass out our brochures. Actually, the printing cost on those was covered by our Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is nice. We're excited this year. We celebrate an anniversary, and that anniversary is our 30th year in existence as Cascade Lock Park Association. It's pretty momentous. Actually, our founder, Virginia Bueno, celebrates her 90th birthday this year, which is exciting as well. But the city and the parks has been a great partnership with the Muscle Store and Cascade Lock Park Association. It hasn't looked better. It's just phenomenal what's happening as far as the economic development of that, our north side area with the Cascade Lock Park Association, Lock 15 Brewery, the Trailhead Event Space, the north side. We really have been quite fortunate the last few years to see the improvement in that area. And I think the community relishes the fact that they can have someplace, you know, just a couple steps out of downtown to go and see our cultural history, have a beer, something to eat, and enjoy an event. As a matter of fact, I have a little card in there. We have our Duck Derby and Summer Solstice Party this coming Saturday. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you for being a part of the transformation that's taking place there on the north side. Questions or comments from the committee? Do we have a motion for consent?
Motion.
We have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work. And Greg, thank you for covering the printing on these. Very good. Our next item is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to enter into a contract with the Akron Summit Convention and Visitors Bureau Incorporated to pay an operating subsidy for the Convention Bureau in order to support the services and offerings of the Convention Bureau to the residents and visitors of the greater Akron area, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency. Hello, Greg.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me. Can I pass out a couple little...
Absolutely, and we'll hear from Mr. Fricker.
Yeah, so this is the annual operating subsidy for the Convention Bureau, and we actually are doing 2 years this year because we didn't get the payment processed last year. So it's typically $138,000 a year, so this allows for both the 2018 and 2019 payment.
Very good, thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and represent the 16,000 employees countywide in the travel and tourism industry. We've had a partnership with you all as the City of Akron since 1973, where you provided funding for us to help the marketing and extension of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, as well as manage the John S. Knight Convention Center. And for the past 9 years, for you all, we've managed Greystone Hall since 2009. We strive every day to be excellent stewards of the funds that you provide to us. We have, for the past 4 years, received an unqualified position from the state auditor. We have a state audit every year, so we're very respectful, not only how we market and utilize the money, but that we utilize the money in the most appropriate ways, so you have that confidence with that money that you grant to us, that it's being utilized in the best ways. We're excited that the Hilton Garden Inn East End and the Courtyard by Marriott North Side are both doing very, very well as far as our 2 newer properties. And additionally, in hopefully August, we'll have the new Boutique Hotel opening, which will be 77 rooms. I think most of you know that that is located in what was the United Building, being done by Tony Troppi. We continue to do everything we can to remain fluid to attract as many groups, conventions, and meetings to the areas we possibly can. I would ask one piece, if you draw your attention to the left-hand side of the packet, the Akronicity piece is a newer piece that I'm very, very proud of that we did this year. It's kind of a fun piece to show how the energy surges through our past, through our present, and through our future, and it's just a nice little piece. And I would challenge you internally, not out loud, to see how many of the letters on the front you can identify that represent iconic signs from Akron. You have a little bit of fun with that when the session's over. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I would ask, if I could, at some point, ask for a favorable vote from each of you at the conclusion of this discussion.
Excellent. Looks like a lot of good material here to go through.
We have some really, really talented people to put together some great pieces for us.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the committee or any other council members? I'll start with committee members, and Ms. Keith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I want to thank you personally. I had the privilege of being on the board for 2 years, and I will tell you, whatever the city has done to help you, you have taken that and taken it to another level. We're very fortunate to have you heading up this bureau, and also for the outreach that you do throughout the community to keep it even going, even when things are tough. Sometimes there are tough years, because I look at Greystone and what a story that is. We just got done talking about another positive story that was running in the red for a while and then picks up in the black. So, and without knowing it, I wasn't aware of this, but the way we had done contracts in the past, we had not been able to extend them over a year, but with your ability to work with the city, we're able now to extend contracts a little bit longer, which means if you're making wedding plans a year and a half out or 2 years out, we have that ability. So I want to thank you. Your board is terrific, and I want to thank you for all the work and for the passion that you, and I know you're going to include your staff, so I'll say it right now, put into everything that you do. Thank you so much.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Just briefly, Councilwoman Keefe said it all. This book is amazing. So if I get all of these right, is there a prize?
If I'm allowed to buy your burger, I'll buy your burger at the JSK Cafe this Friday.
All right, got it. Yeah, you guys have done a wonderful job over the years, and it's good to have a welcoming center such as this. And again, I commend you, and Councilwoman Keefe has said it all. So, and if we could get some of these extra books, just so we can have them out here for people to grab, I think
Absolutely.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, do I have a motion to place this item on the consent agenda? So moved. Motion and a second's been made. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, we'll place that item on the consent agenda. Mr. Mervis, thank you again for the stellar job you continue to do, and thanks to your staff as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Our third item is an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of notes in a maximum principal amount of $2,500,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to retire notes issued for the purpose of providing funds to pay expenses associated with the settlement of health care claims, whether by reserve or otherwise, and the city's portion of the cost of maintaining its self-insurance program for employee health care benefits and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a one-year note that is an annual thing that we do. This was part of a series of notes that we started in 2009 to pay medical claims, and we originally issued $14 million in 2009 and have paid that down now to about $2.5 million. That's the existing balance. So this legislation provides for issuing another $2.5 million, but we anticipate paying down $1 million this year, so we will probably only issue $1.5 million.
Okay, very good.
So I'll hope to eliminate this over the next couple years. So this is, again, a one-year note that we've issued every year.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion to place this item on the consent agenda?
Motion?
Motion and second has been made. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. We'll see that this item is placed on the consent agenda. Item number 4 is an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of bonds of the city in a maximum principal amount of $12,060,000 for the purpose of refunding bonds issued by the city in 2010 to pay the costs of acquiring, constructing, improving, renovating, repairing, enlarging, adding to, reconstructing, maintaining, equipping, furnishing, acquiring interest in real property in connection with, improving the sites of, and otherwise improving community learning centers and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a refunding issue to refund bonds that we issued for the CLC projects in 2010. So we actually issued 3 different series of bonds that year. We've already refunded one of them. This will be the second one, which should generate about $1,500,000 of savings over the remaining life of the bonds.
Very good. Questions or comments? Appreciate your efforts to save.
And this one, due to the kind of the timing, we would like to ask for suspension of the rules on this one.
Okay, very good. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we will see that this is passed out this evening. Item number 5 is an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in a principal amount not exceeding $13 million to pay the property owner's portion in anticipation of the levy and collection of special assessments of the cost of improving certain streets in the city between certain termini by providing street cleaning services and street lighting and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a one-year note that we issue every year that funds our annual street lighting and street cleaning program. We issue this note now to fund the program, and then we'll pay it back with the assessments that we collect next year. The $13 million is the same that we've been doing for the past several years. We have not raised the street lighting or street cleaning assessment rate, so it should be the same as last year.
So for the street cleaning and the street lighting, it does come very close to the $13 million.
It does, yes.
Okay, very good. Questions or comments? Consent okay on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion for consent?
Motion for consent and a second has been given. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll see this item is placed on the consent agenda. And finally, item number 6, we have an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into amendments, supplement number 3, to agreements between the City of Akron and Akron Energy Systems, LLC, relating to the refunding of the $13,200,000 certificates of participation, Series 2010 Akron District Energy Project, previously issued to finance certain improvements to the city's steam, hot water, and chilled water system, authorizing the execution of amendment, supplement number 3, to a financing agreement authorizing actions necessary and incidental thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is another refunding opportunity. These are the bonds, the initial set of bonds, or I should say COPs. So these were actually certificates of participation. The original issue that we did back in 2010, that was the first one that we did. So there are interest rate savings opportunities right now. We could save about $674,000 over the remaining life of the debt issuance. And these bonds will mature in 2030. And again, so this is an opportunity, given the interest rate environment, for interest rate savings.
And so that a lot of us have toured Akron Energy Systems, and so what we're seeing down there is a result of this. Very briefly, just for our edification, difference between certificates of participation versus the bond issues.
So certificates of participation are considered an appropriation-based debt instrument, meaning that we must appropriate the funds each year in order to pay for those. So it's really a one-year appropriation. That's why the security is slightly less than a bond would be, because council must appropriate the funds each year for those. But so it is not technically considered debt, even though in the end it is essentially the same thing.
Sure. Certificates of participation, is it as arduous an ordeal to issue those as it is a bond?
It's really the same process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Questions or comments? This item,
We would request suspension of the rules. Again, we are under a very good interest rate environment now, so we kind of want to be able to price while the environment is still good, so we're asking for suspension of the rules on this one.
okay, very good. We have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll see that that's passed out this evening. And if there's nothing else to come before us, we will adjourn at 3:15. Thank you. Arduous.